And to details, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli took part on Thursday in the 10th summit of the Organization of the 8 Developing Countries for Economic Cooperation D8, organized by Bangladesh via video conference. Addressing the summit on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the Prime Minister said that this summit is different, being held in a new reality imposed by the coronavirus pandemic, which hit the entire world with unprecedented challenges, especially developing nations, given its negative economic repercussions. He noted that such challenges rearrange the world's priorities and place development issues at the forefront of its agenda. Madbouli pointed out that Egypt adopted policies with the advent of the pandemic in order to achieve balance between protecting the citizens and pursuing economic activities in the framework of a government economic reform program launched since 2016 and in line with Egypt's 2030 vision for sustainable development. The Prime Minister highlighted the D8 organization's 2020-2030 roadmap is an important step towards achieving common objectives, tackling pivotal economic issues and facing the new and emerging challenges. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli met with Minister of Irrigation and Water Resources Muhammad Abdul Ati on Thursday to review the outcomes of recent meetings over Ethiopia's dam hosted by Congo. The minister said the two-day meetings on the dam had made no progress on the resumption of talks due to the Ethiopian stance. The meeting also touched on the pace of work at projects carried out by the Irrigation Ministry, including canals, lining and efforts for transforming to modern irrigation systems. Egyptian Center for Strategic Studies (ECSS) held on Thursday a conference dubbed as Human Rights Building the Post-Pandemic World to tackle the repercussions of the coronavirus pandemic in Cairo on Thursday. The conference was attended by a number of high-profile ministers, officials and representatives of the United Nations organizations. Addressing the conference, General Manager of the ECSS, Dr. Khalid Okesha, said that the pandemic represents a danger on humanity and prompted a reconsideration of all aspects of human lives. In her address to the opening session, Minister of Planning and Economic Development Dr. Hala Said said that the coronavirus pandemic has exposed a number of problems. She pointed out to $1 trillion gap in funding in developing countries. Minister of International Cooperation Dr. Rania Al-Mashat said the pandemic was a strong stimulus for collaborative action among countries for facing its repercussions. And to details, Minister of International Cooperation officials met with visiting Ukrainian Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs to prepare for the 8th session of the Egyptian-Ukrainian Joint Committee for Cooperation to convene in Cairo. Both sides stressed the importance of boosting cooperation in the fields of agriculture, machinery and equipment and infrastructure. The committee is expected to take decisions to facilitate trade, encourage private sector partnerships and work towards achieving global sustainable development goals. The Joint Egyptian-Ukrainian Committee seeks to create the necessary legal framework to advance bilateral cooperation between Egypt and Ukraine. Egypt's stock market indices gained £5.9 billion on Thursday, being bolstered by purchasing operations by Arab and foreign investors. The main EGX 30 added 0.74%, the small and medium EGX 70 added 1.97%, the more expanded EGX 100 gained 1.67%. The overall transactions and dealings within the session reached £5.9 billion.